Welcome to Conversation with Goddesses. This is Ursula,
And this is Kasia.
and today we are going to speak about how to feel good enough everywhere, all the time, and with everyone. We are going to give you tips from our experience, and there will be a short meditation at the end. So let's start.
Very, very interesting because when you talk today about this feeling of not being good enough, I actually was going through my YouTube videos, just clearing everything out there. And the theme of not being good enough, it's quite a theme there. So we're on to something, I think. And it's not that it started yesterday, it started a long time ago. I don't know what your experience is, but I was really surprised to see that every now and then I publish something about feeling not good enough.
Yeah, it's certainly a theme in my personal story. And more than a theme, it's an experience that I keep on having, different levels. I recover quickly, but sometimes I literally have these attacks of not being good enough and I don't function. I just don't function. I just feel everybody's better and I'm not good with technology and I'm not good with cooking and I'm a bad mother and it just takes over.
Mm. And you said you recover. So, what's your way? How do you do it?
Ah, well, usually I try not to resist it. I declare, I put my white flag up and I said, okay, it's one of those days. And I think self care is really the first step where I allow myself the space to be this.
Mm. So, really feeling, really going into the feeling and feeling, yes, I'm not good enough. Not fighting. Yeah, I completely agree. I know when I fight the feeling, it's either not good enough, or grief, or pain. It intensifies. But when you give it time, when you stay with it will dissipate.
Yes. It's rather painful because you see with these filters that everybody, I was sitting in a cafe the other day, I had one of those attacks and I was looking at people and everybody's better than me, is doing better, they look better. It's a very painful self-judgment process that I go through, and the filters is comparison with others or with standards. You were talking about standards before. I think
Mm.
it's a good one. According
And
to which standards?
yes, according to which standards, because my standard of good enough will be different to yours. And we get them from the society, religion, family, everything, culture, history. So my standard of being good enough would be I earn this much, I publish this many podcasts, but for you, it may be less, it may be more. So, really, this feeling of not good enough is our inner feeling because it's only according to our inner standards. And it's this inner judge. I was thinking about the difference between the critic and the judge. And I think the judge is much more serious because it can punish you with pain, shame, guilt, all these things.
Yeah. What to say? It's certainly not pleasant because maybe I'm not immediately aware of what is happening. Usually, I'm I start to be really nervous, and I'm picky with everything, with my partner or the people around, and angry because things are not going my way, and then it has an escalation until I stop and say, right, it's a self-attack of some kind. In a critic, in a judge, whatever. It's just I don't function properly. And so I think the first step is really stopping and being aware that something is going on and there is no flow, no joy,
Mhm.
no, you're not in the moment. You're in some kind of narrative in your brain.
And then the brain fog comes, and it's, yeah, like you said in the beginning, we don't even realize, but something's doesn't feel right. Something is off, and I withdraw. You get angry, I withdraw. So I would withdraw into myself, away from people. And but then with awareness, you start noticing, oh, something is not right. And my way of dealing with it then is noticing and asking myself, where actually, yeah, whose standards am I following? And if they're mine, are they right? Or they're just a creation of my mind, of maybe my ego that wants to feel safe and better and good? And is it true? And then I come to the realization, probably not. And also, I look then with my experience, I've lived many years, look at my life, and I say, well, actually, my life is not that bad. And I've achieved a lot of things, I've done a lot of things. So maybe I am good enough.
So you work by examination, examining your thoughts and sort of counteracting their effect.
Mhm. And
Yeah,
also staying with it, like we talked in the beginning, not fighting it, but staying with the feeling and then examining it, what's coming up.
yeah. See, from the feeling, examining the thought that is causing the feeling. But you said something about withdrawing, and that's a very interesting thing because we don't feel good enough. What happens to my energy? I literally go in and I don't want to answer the phone. I don't want to participate to things. I just, dim my light. I
Mhm.
just dim my light. And my light being as a most important thing I have, it's that magical connection with the universe that creates my body and nature all around me. And so we are talking, who am I? Who is a small human self? Who am I to judge my inner light? Who am I to put standards that even are not, they don't, I don't have the whole perspective. So according to what I'm not good enough? Yes, there are human standards, but maybe I remember a teacher saying to me, maybe you are just ahead. How do you know that you're not good enough, that you haven't achieved enough? Maybe you are ahead. Your body is evolving so rapidly and is a magnificent, form of creation. Who are you to judge it? You know?
And
So,
who is the judge? Is it the mind that judges? Yes, it is. We are thinking, I'm not good enough. And from the thinking, the feeling comes. Oh, shrinking, withdrawing, something. It makes us small. But also, maybe sometimes it's when we touch on our greatness, maybe. Suddenly we shrink because, oh, wow, what if I really go there? So sometimes it's easier to withdraw because, oh, no, I'm not good enough to go there. I'm scared of my greatness. Yeah, was it Marianne Williamson, apparently, that said that we are scared of our greatness, not our smallness? So it could be also like a self-preservation thing. Oh no, it's too scary. What if I shine? What if I'm amazing? So our mind will say, no, no, you're not good enough to even think about it. Go there.
yeah, the mind cages,
Mm.
ties us in, entangles us into this little persona that is not good enough. and the amazing spiritual being that we have inside, the light that is moving our body, the light that we have inside is dimmed and blocked. And I have one way. One way helps me usually. Well, self-care. So that means, I'm just holding myself. I'm giving everything she wants: cakes, sleep, buying things. I indulge. But then after I have cuddled her a lot, when I have a little energy, I go out in nature and I try to get out of my head and look at how beautiful a tree is, the sky, a starry night. It's just jumping out of yourself somehow and connecting with something bigger.
Mhm. It's a beautiful way, because sometimes it's not the way I recommend, but I can go and start scrolling on my phone just to get out of this feeling and thinking. So being in nature, definitely a much better way. I don't recommend going on social media or anything at this time, but it does happen. And with me, I would maybe do a meditation, or I would do some tapping, or a balance on myself. I do a session for myself, or do something to really bring me back. Because I think when we judge ourselves, I step out of my body, my mind sort of steps out, or whoever it is that steps out. So I need to come back to my body to feel myself in my body. So grounding, doing something that brings the energy back. And sometimes I also check, is it mine or is it somebody else's? I think maybe we could touch on it here, that sometimes we pick up thoughts, emotions of other people, especially if you're insensitive. So I ask that everything that doesn't belong to me is removed from my field, energy field from my body. And sometimes it helps, because I actually might have picked up something walking on the street. Someone was unhappy, depressed, and I picked up on their energy. So also checking, is it really mine, or does it belong to someone else?
Yes, that's a curse of the empath that we pick up. However, when I am filled with
Mm-hmm.
my light, I don't pick up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have a well inside of outpouring joy and light, and it
Mm-hmm.
just comes out, and I don't. But you touched on something, saying we step out of our body.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we don't want to be here. It's like we lose presence, and that stepping out of the body, then you are filled with other people's energy, and it gets a bit, or your past memories, or it's filled, or mind, it's filled with something else which is not your light. So yes, doing something to be back in the body
Mm-hmm.
is good.
And presence. And sometimes, like you said, you may eat something. Concentrate on what you're eating. Maybe bring yourself back to your breath. Just count your breath. It's, for me, it's very important to get out of my head, because my head is
Yeah.
overactive. So to bring, and I'm learning. It's been a, a long process to really learn to be in my body, to be in the present, to be here and now
Yeah, that's
instead
very
of.
good. To go, I remember my grandmother saying, if you are in a hurry, because hurry is a symptom of not being good enough. You are always on the next thing to do because you're not doing enough, and you hurry and you run around. And, she said, slow down. When you are in a hurry, slow down. So I'm in this agitated in my head, or whatever it is that is causing me this unpleasant sensation, feelings. I slow down and I do everything really mindful. And I do simple things because I am okay even if I'm not doing anything. I am okay just because I breathe and I am a creature.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bird obsessed with not being good enough. They are just being. It's just
Mm-hmm.
being, and so I stopped doing. I slow down, and whatever I do, I really try to enjoy it. Enjoy a cup of tea, enjoy a breath, looking at the sky, that kind of mindful moving. And that usually brings me back in my body and out of my head. I wonder if we should do anything like a small meditation.
We will just one more thing before we start, because you've touched on this. Yeah, not good enough in the sense of not doing, because we are brought up in the doing, and I think we're slowly learning that being is also a very powerful thing. Not only doing, but being. So to allow us to be now, yes, let's do the meditation.
Would you like to start it?
Yes, so just close your eyes if you want to, if you can, and sit comfortably. And let's start with a few breaths. We've talked about breathing, so I want you to count your breaths. Let's count to 5. So 1 in breath, 1 out breath, 2 in breath, 2 out breath, and count to 5. And now you've connected with your breath. Check your body. How are your feet? Are they comfortable? Your legs, your hips, your torso, arms, hands, your neck, your head. Don't judge, just observe. And I want you to think about not feeling good enough. What happens in your body? Maybe there's a sudden tightness in your heart. Something happens in your stomach, in your head. Observe. I am not good enough. Just see what happens in your body. And where is it in your body? This feeling, this thought? What does it look like? Has it got a specific form? Maybe it's got a color. Maybe it's a certain type of energy.
And I'm inviting you to connect to your higher self, the spiritual being of light that you are. Maybe you see this being coming to you. Maybe you're having the feeling of being embraced and held in a space of light. And continue breathing, allowing whatever is there to be there, the sensation that Kasha brought up. At the same time, allow the space of light to surround you. light is anchoring in your body. Anchoring in your crown, in your third eye, flowing down, feeling the whole of your energy body. And now ask your higher self to dissolve the feeling in the body, the thoughts connected to not feeling good enough. Allow the light from within to fill every space in your body, mind, and soul. And we are leaving you in this space where you will receive, as Kasha said, an experience of being for as long as you want, as you need to.